I'm Grant Harris. I'm the Senior Director for African Affairs at the White House.
No.
You want to introduce yourself?
And hi, I'm Shannon Green. I'm the Senior Director for Global Engagement, also at the White House.
Great. Well, we're thrilled to be talking to you, particularly about what happens next and starting that conversation. From the beginning, when we were talking about creating a program and when President Obama asked us to put together this fellowship, the mandate was very clear. It was not only going to be the biggest program of its size that we've been undertaking, and it was not only going to be for an extensive length of time for time in the United States and having internships here and opportunities here, but the idea from the beginning was also to provide ongoing opportunities so that when you return to your countries and to your communities, that we stay in touch and we continue to offer U.S. resources and opportunities for follow-on internships, for mentorship, and the like. So I wanted to mention a few things in that regard. Shannon is going to add to it, and if we have time, we'll take a question or two, but I know you guys have a pretty packed schedule, as we've seen. We were wondering if you'd be even willing to talk to us, given now that you're so used to only talking to our president and our members of cabinet. So thank you for taking the time just to speak with us. Okay, we've got some things that we're putting together in Africa with USAID. They've hired regional coordinators so that across the continent, they're going to be connecting and working with our embassy teams to make sure that we're staying in touch on an ongoing basis, and also that we've got you connected to our YALI network and the resources. And Shannon's going to talk a little bit more about the regional leadership centers and the specific things that the president announced yesterday. But I want to mention one in particular, and that's entrepreneurship and grants. Our U.S. Agency for U.S. Africa Development Foundation has been very generous in the money that they put on the table to provide these ongoing opportunities. And they've committed to provide $5 million over the next 3 years. Yeah, you should clap. This is a great opportunity. And they've already started dispersing some of these grants. They're in the size of $25,000 each. And I think 36 people received them on Sunday. Did you receive one? Can you stand up? Who received a grant? Thank you. Well, this is very exciting. So you can see that it's already going to be affecting great change, and this is going to be money that will be put to use in communities. It's going to be helping to build these ideas and put them into reality. And there are going to be future disbursements and competitions for these grants as well, including early next year. And so we hope that you'll continue to develop your ideas and that you'll apply for these. So the bottom line is that as you return to your communities, please stay in touch. Please make sure that you're connected with us so that we can support you if you want additional mentorship, and so that also you can serve as mentors to aspiring Mandela Fellows. It's something that, from the beginning, as I mentioned, it would never be enough only to have this excellent time in the United States. It's got to continue, and it's going to take time and resources and commitment to affect the changes that we've been hearing from you. We saw these amazing idea boards as we were walking in. We saw the amazing interaction that you had with President Obama yesterday and all of the others with whom you've met. We know there are a lot of ideas, and it's just a question of taking them to the next level. And so we want to continue to work with you, not just over the days to come, not just over the weeks or months, but over the years to come to provide that support and to be connected with you and to be a partner. So thank you very much.
Good morning. So I've actually had the great fortune of meeting many of you while you've been here. I've met the fellows from Clark Atlanta. You guys here? Hi, guys. Howard University when Valerie Jarrett came over. All right. And Morgan State. It's great to see all of you guys again. One thing that really struck me when I had these meetings was that we were talking not just about what kinds of opportunities would be available to you guys when you went home, but a lot of you guys were concerned about what kinds of opportunities and resources would be available to the vast number of young leaders that weren't able to participate in this program. So some of the things that President Obama announced yesterday are to get to that group, the people who weren't able to participate in the Washington Fellowship. So I just wanted to give you a little bit more of information about some of those opportunities. First, he announced yesterday the creation of 4 regional leadership centers. These platforms will have three main objectives. One, they'll provide leadership training on the continent. Two, they'll provide additional networking opportunities, the kinds of opportunities you guys have had while you've been here. And three, there'll be places to support entrepreneurship and continue to incubate the great ideas that are coming out of young leaders from Africa. The first ones are being set up in Kenya, South Africa, Ghana, and Senegal. And they're not just being supported by the US government, they're being supported by major corporations like MasterCard Foundation, Microsoft, Intel, and we're also doing them in partnership with African institutions. The idea here is that these are centers that you guys can take advantage of, but there are also places where tens of thousands of more of young African leaders can go and get leadership training, mentoring, and support. We're also looking at developing modern workspaces and places where people can continue to meet and incubate their ideas. Those YALI spaces are being developed in partnership with the Smithsonian. And as you guys saw on Sunday, the Smithsonian is a preeminent institution here in the United States. The first spaces will be located in Cote d'Ivoire, Zimbabwe, and South Africa. And we have plans to open another 7 spaces in Africa by 2016. Meanwhile, we're also developing mobile incubators. These mobile incubators will take entrepreneurship support outside of capitals and really try to reach some of those rural areas where we know that there are great ideas that are bubbling and germinating, but maybe they just need a little more support. So those mobile incubators will be going out in countrysides and trying to support entrepreneurs across your countries. Finally, there are going to be lots of opportunities to present your ideas at major international events, like the Global Entrepreneurship Summit that the President mentioned yesterday. This year's is happening in Morocco, and then next year, for the first time ever, the Global Entrepreneurship Summit will be in Sub-Saharan Africa. You'll also hear today about Demo Africa, and there are many, many other opportunities like this, where you can pitch your ideas to people who have capital, people who have networks, and people can help you with distribution of your ideas. Finally, I think you heard a little bit yesterday about the YALI network. Now, this is a place where you'll be able to access online courses. Have you guys heard of massive open online courses? Yeah. So there's a list of massive open online courses available to you. There's also tailored training on the YALI network on the topics that you guys have been learning about while you're here. In addition to that, there's going to be a number of other kinds of chats and meetup functions on that YALI network that's available both to you, but then the 68,000 people that are already part of the YALI network, and we hope to keep that growing. So I think Grant and I can stay and take a few more questions, but you'll also be hearing from representatives from the State Department, USAID, and the USADF during these breakout sessions. And they can tell you a lot more about these opportunities and how to access them. Thanks.
Great. I saw a hand right there who was the first, yeah. We got a microphone there. But it's okay to clap. I didn't mean to interrupt that. Go ahead. It's good stuff.
I'm Sarah M. Johnson from Liberia. From what you've explained, I understand there are more opportunities for those in the entrepreneurial track than those in public management. So is there anything for those in public management track? Thank you. Leadership also.
Yeah. That's a great question. Why don't we take 2 or 3 and then we'll answer them all at the same time? Yeah. Great, right there.
My name is Zonziwa. I'm from Cameroon, and I'm interested in the regional advisory board, but I see Central African is not part of the bloc. So I would like to know your take on that, given the fact that we have representations from Central Africa. Thank you.
Great, so why don't we do just one more? This side doesn't want to play? Fine. Okay, we'll go back. Yeah.
Hi, my name is Christian Chiwigiri. I'm from the DRC. I'd like to know what are the ways that you're thinking of linking the actual fellow community of YALI with the past community of YALI, because there should be some continuity. And I have a feeling that if every program is disjointed, then at some point we are not really building a sustainable program. Thank you.
Great. Why don't we take one last one right here? And
Nuru? Oh my God. My name is Nuru from Uganda, Nuru Nalyambia from Uganda. So my question is, how is the mentorship program going to work? How are you going to link us up with the mentors? In our university, we had an idea that maybe mentors should be put online with their bios, and probably we read through and see who we like so that we take part in the selection of the mentors. So we read through, see if what they are doing connects to what we want, and then we apply for them to be our mentors. Thank you.
great. Those are fantastic questions, and we'll give them a quick response. And I know also that in the next session and ongoing, there's going to be more opportunities to talk about this. First, though, to talk a little bit about public management and what sort of follow-on opportunities that might exist for that. This is a place that we want to further expand, but let me tell you what we've been doing so far. Through all of our embassies, in addition to asking our ambassadors to create youth advisory councils and to really institutionalize these types of exchanges, we've also been talking with governments to try to encourage them to announce specific investments in youth in the context of the upcoming African Leaders Summit, and also to consider different ways that they might increase their support through public service, through civil service, through volunteerism, and through other ways to connect with young, aspiring civil servants and public servants. It's an ongoing conversation, and some governments have been very interested. Some governments are already doing quite a bit, and there's still a lot more to be done as well, though, to make those opportunities more tangible. I do think that there will be a lot of mentors in the network. I do think that some of the resources through the African Development Foundation and others will still be quite applicable in pursuing and growing ideas, but we would like to hear more ideas in particular on public management and other fields where we can try to develop additional resources and follow-on opportunities. And we're going to continue to work with governments in our diplomatic interactions about creating these types of opportunities going forward as well. Let me answer the question as well about Central Africa. This is the first tranche of what we hope will be amazing, successful regional leadership centers. And we unfortunately weren't able to put them throughout the continent in the number of which we otherwise might like. But it's key that we tap into the potential and to provide these opportunities to youth in Central Africa as well. And so we want to make sure these leadership centers are meant to be hubs. They're meant to draw from across the region to make sure that these resources are available, and we want to ensure that all Central African countries and all countries in Africa are able to draw on them and to have young leaders participate in their activities. When you start off with only 4, it's going to take a lot of coordination and making sure that you're drawing from other countries and getting people there for the resources, and we're also trying to have more online activity too. But we hope to make these a great success. We hope to include as many people from Central Africa and across Africa as well in doing so.
One more note on the public management question. So I've met with 2 different institutes with a focus on public management, and I think what I've been hearing is that there needs to be almost an campaign or an advertising for governments below the most senior levels, because our president has had conversations, and as Grant mentioned, our embassies have been having conversations with your leaders at the senior most levels. But what I heard from a lot of you guys is that it's not filtering down. So a lot of you guys had ideas about just advertising the program better so that your supervisors and people within your departments were aware of it. I think another key part, though, is that when you go back, they see the value that you're going to bring because you have these new skills and connections, et cetera. So in a lot of ways, you're also going to be convincing people of the value of this program so that they both want to nurture you when you get back and establish mentoring opportunities within your own departments and agencies, but they want to allow future people to participate in this program. So just a note on that. On the networking, we absolutely agree. The idea is always that it's just going to grow and grow and grow. And this is something that USAID can talk about a little bit more in this next session, but the idea is very much that you guys are the first class, and you will have opportunities to have regional conferences that bring folks together from the countries in the region, but also across track. but over time, that we'll just build in more and more of the fellows from future years so that the network continues to grow. So that is very much our vision, that we're establishing a network that starts with you guys that is only going to get bigger and richer over the years to come. So we very much want people to stay engaged in that process. On the mentorship question, and this again is something that you guys can talk a little bit more with USAID at the next session. I don't know if any of you guys have already gone to the YALI Network website. Yeah. Have any of you guys gone into the ECA website that's just for fellows and just lists the exclusive opportunities that are available to you guys? Okay. Within that website, there's a button that basically says request a mentor. So that's where you can go and put in your interest in finding a mentor. That was a very interesting idea to also, have some list, some availability of information for the kind of people that are in there. So I think that's something that we can look into with our colleagues, but hopefully that's something that you guys can address more in the next session. But thank you for that idea.
Well, we know that you've got a full day, and we're out of time in terms of questions now, but there's going to be additional sessions going into with smaller groups to talk more specifically about these programs. I just want to underscore one more time, we're really thrilled to be working with you and to be your partners. Your bios are amazing. The selection process was so intense. The potential, the things that have already been done by people in this room, but also the potential to do more is incredible. It blows us away. And so we're excited to be your partners going forward. And thanks so much.
Thank you.